Okay, the next educator guide assessment we're going to talk about is soil nitrogen. And nitrogen is typically our most limiting nutrient. It's also the most abundant element in the atmosphere. The next section covers inherent factors affecting soil nitrogen, and those are primarily our soil texture, our soil steepness, anything that would impact either leaching of the nitrogen through the soil or runoff, erosion processes where we could lose some of the nitrogen through those processes. The next section you want to cover with your students in some basics would be nitrogen management. And the primary management schemes are nitrogen rate, nitrogen source, nitrogen placement, also your management practices that would go along with that, such as irrigation management, your residue management, your crops, etc. Nitrogen rates, probably one of the most important things, should be based on the amount needed to optimize yield without over applying, because we can cause some problems with some of the other soil tests that we mentioned earlier if we over apply nitrogen. Our timing is important so that we put it as close to crop uptake as possible. Our fertilizer source, different sources are going to have can either leach or be lost through volatilization easily, or more easily or less easily, so that's important to cover. Also the placement, so that we place it so in a manner so we don't lose it as easily. And then irrigation scheduling in irrigated areas is important so that we don't over apply our irrigation water and leach out those nitrogens. The next thing that's really important, and probably the most important thing the students understand, is the nitrogen cycle. So you need to cover that very clearly with them, and that's figure 2 in your book or in your educator guide. And it talks about the different sources of nitrogen, from fertilizer to animal manure to the different things that can occur, such as fixation from our legume crops. And then in organic matter, how it can mineralize and become available, as well as ammonium or the different fertilizer sources, how they convert first to nitrite, and then to nitrate, and then can be lost either through leaching, or they can be taken up by plants, etc. So that's probably the most important thing to cover, is that nitrogen cycle with your students.